Okay, now to the case study. Right, the first company, SenseTime, going for IPO. Not confirmed yet when is the date and what is the price, but it's good that we do some analysis so that you get some idea. Okay, this is the most popular one, right? You all chose, you all like SenseTime, Okay. Just give you some stats first, right? SenseTime is an AI company, artificial intelligence. Okay, I don't spell out too long already. Software company, right? Not hardware, software is the biggest in Asia in terms of revenue in 2020. Okay, got a lot of caveats on. Their software are used by over 2,400 customers, including half of them are from Fortune 500. Okay, and they have deployed over many cities and especially automobile companies, which I will explain later, right? And then they also have a foot in a consumer tech like mobile phones, mobile apps. Okay, and then they have reportedly 500 million monthly users each, right? So that means their technology is used in many industries, many different kind of customer profiles. Okay, but you know, AI is a very big word, right? So what do we mean by all this? We'll take the next few slides to explain what do they actually do. SenseTime focus on computer vision. Computer vision is just one part of the AI software, right? But it's the biggest so far. Okay, this is the three segments. Okay, the biggest segment is actually computer software. More than half of the AI market is computer software. Then another 36% is audio and natural language processing. That means your text and your voice, right? Computer vision is more of your images and videos. Okay, then the small part is in data science. Right, so computer vision, since it's the biggest segment, SenseTime look like they are in the right place. In fact, it's going to grow faster. You can see the estimate, this estimate in 2025, the pie for computer vision as an AI segment will grow even bigger. Okay, and they did post this picture in their prospectus, right? But they didn't put the name now. So you see, they compare to company A, company B, company C, company D. Okay, these are my inferences, right? Based on their description, I guess these are the company. I think I'm quite correct except one. This one is still unknown. I'm not sure whether I'm correct. Okay, because this is the description is more vague. So in terms of computer vision software, they are a leader. They have 11% market share. So it's out of this 56% market, they got 11%. Okay, that's what it means, right? But it's still a market leader compared to the rest. I think it's unfair to bring in Hikvision, right? Because Hikvision is more of a hardware than a software. You're going to sell everything together. They don't sell software independently. In fact, they actually buy software elsewhere, okay, from a US company. So they don't really provision the software. So I think it's a bit out of place, right? The rest, yes. Okay, the rest, yes. But SenseTime is the market leader. All right. Can let me see. Oh, got some question. Before I carry on, still got Baba question. Will Baba drop below 100 Hong Kong dollar? I think unlikely lah. But dropping below what was the low, 160, right? I think 150 possible, 140 is possible. Okay, 100 below 100, I think it's not possible. Okay, is SMRT using to catch people without masks? I don't know. I don't know. All right, it was not mentioned in their use case lah. But not difficult. Okay, later I show you their technology. All right, as in slides, not the actual technology. Just curious, is a big company fall in the case of Evergrande? Will the China market environment be affected? I think this is just part of the cleanup. They will get people to absorb the impact. Okay, some companies will be impacted, but I don't think it's the entire market. Right? Yeah, let's carry on. Missed those questions just now. Okay, so SenseTime is a market leader in this case. And no, they invent new term, AI as a service. Wow, now everything also as a service. Okay, housework as a service. So everything as a service. They have 4 big segments, right? All powered by hardware, not hardware, AI model, right? So they have one consistent one, which is called a SenseCore. This is their infrastructure. Okay, this is their AI model. This is the core of all the back end. Okay, and their front end, they have software. This is what they actually sell, right? The whole package actually. But then it's always powered by this SenseCore. Some are sold to the businesses, SenseFoundry Enterprise. Okay, SenseFoundry is also sold to the city management. And then they have SenseME, SenseMARS. These are for metaverse enablement. See, they also get metaverse. Right? SenseCare is for healthcare. Okay, diagnosis, treatment planning, all this. And they also have a foot in automobile. They have SenseAuto for autonomous driving. Right? So you can see actually they have a lot of use cases, right, in different industry. And this is a good sign. And they also say that their model is a bit different, right? Their business model, right, is not to create tailor kind of AI. Okay, they want to just build one AI platform, everything just dump inside, so that you have more data set, cross industry kind of ideas, and then they create all this software. They got templates. Then they do minor customization, right? You feed in the data, then after that, they will train the AI to give you the insights. It's not about like a vendor turnkey solution. Like you go to the customer and say, okay, what you want to build, you build from scratch. No, okay, they actually have laid out all this. They call it the mass AI solution, right? Not tailored ones. Okay, because it's too slow, it's too expensive for most companies, right? But if you have something that you can just buy and customize a little bit, and you can straight away use, right? So that's how their business model is like. And some example, right? The SenseFoundry Enterprise use case. Okay, so the Shanghai West Bund, they want to manage a wide area, open zone, the shoreline basically, right? So this is like their software. Okay, this is the SenseFoundry Enterprise software. This one, the first one. Okay, they will give you like different kind of information, changes in infrastructure assets, in and out, maintenance schedule, what assets are, what infrastructure assets are you seeing here, make out what percentage. Then they will send you alerts if the tide is high or tide is low, incident rate, incidents, all these kind of things. So basically you can see is that they will have cameras all around, right? They have sensors all around. Then they can pipe all this data into their AI SenseCore. And then this is where they generate insights and push the insights to a user interface known as SenseFoundry Enterprise. So you can monitor everything in one dashboard of what's going on. And you don't need to have people to walk the ground because all your sensors are there. Okay, if the sensor is spoiled, they also will tell you, right? All these kind of things. Okay, so it basically minimizes a lot of manpower used for companies where they need to monitor a super large area, where the man on the ground is just too tedious and you need a big team in order for you to cover the area. Okay. It can also be used for facility management, right? A lot of like condo management, school compound, whatever, right? Large areas. Okay, again, same thing. They can map out, they can digitize your entire building layout in a 3D model. Okay, and you can zoom in, zoom out, all these kind of things, right? To give you a more 3D view of what's going on, right? That kind of sensing. Okay, so they have statistics. They can tell you how many visitors have went inside, vehicle traffic stats, any jam or not, right? Security alerts, work orders. Maybe there's some renovation construction to be done, maintenance schedule. I don't know, maybe for aircon compressor or whatever, water tower. Right, so they have a digital replica of the property. That's another key technology they have. They can reconstruct a physical space into a digital blueprint. Okay, and this I find this the most interesting. I think this is the best use case I see so far. Right, it's used for Beijing Shanghai Highway Railway, high-speed railway. Right, so a lot of electrical cable, and the distance is so long, right? Okay, and you know what they do? They have to, last time, they have to manually check all the cables, all the section cables like this, to make sure the connections are there. It's there. Manually, wow. And then in the past, they can only cover 2.5 km one day. With this SenseFoundry, they can cover 50 km in one day. Okay, yes, they still need a vehicle. Actually, it's a vehicle. They will just slowly go on the rail and then they will take picture. They'll take picture and then the because it's a computer vision, right? They will be able to tell whether this is defective or not. Okay, so they were able to detect 2,160 types of defects. I think even human errors will be higher compared to computer vision, right? Over 514 components. How is a human going to do this? Okay, I don't know. I think it's just too difficult. But with this, I think this is the best use case. Really save a lot of time and your accuracy actually gone up a lot, right? So you can see a number of posts with defects, trend analysis. They will tell you that, you know, the railway section condition as you go past, number of confirmed defects, and then, you know, outstanding tasks, okay, which area you haven't covered, this haven't repaired, all these kind of things. Okay, so I do think that's pretty powerful in this case. All right. Okay. Oh, this is condition monitoring. Many engineering and asset management companies are doing this already. Yeah, I would suppose so lah. They are not the only one doing it. Is this potentially a Palantir competitor? I would think so. I would think so. But I'm not sure. I don't think Palantir is just computer vision. I think they are broader than that. Whereas for SenseTime, they are more focused on computer vision. And anyway, Palantir is not going to sell to China, right? They have openly said that. And anyway, China have so many of them that they don't need Palantir also. And they also won't want Palantir. All right. So it's a mutual agreement. Okay. Some other use case for their SenseFoundry enterprise. This is one of the China automobile manufacturer. So they use it also to detect manufacturing defects, 34 types, 6 to 12 seconds, detection rate of more than 99%. So very little human error, right? Because if you use manual, usually the human error is higher. High Sugar Tech use it to detect their sugarcane impurities. Okay, last time also they do it manually, detection rate more than 90%. So if your idea of SenseTime should be this, okay, anything that is visual, whether is it image or video, they would be able to detect something, right? They can have the image detection ability, and that replaces any human being that use vision to do their work. Right, so that's what SenseTime is all about. Okay, this is their city use. So we only cover the enterprise. So now is the next module, which is the city use. Okay, don't have pictures. They didn't show pictures because I think city is more sensitive, right? It was deployed in outside of China in one of a very big city, metropolis. Okay, don't know where is it. They were able to detect drivers not wearing safety belts with a precision of 94%, or those using mobile phone while driving with a precision of 86 and 96%. I hope they don't do this in Singapore. Okay. I hope they don't do this in Singapore, right? Yeah, because sometimes I'm guilty of this. Okay. But these are solid use cases. Then another first tier city in South China, maybe Shenzhen. Okay, around 50,000 cases of traffic violation has been identified. So all this AI, the problem is that when it applied to all this traffic enforcement, right, it's going to be a big increase in safety, lah. Okay, that's a good thing, right? But then the fines will go up a lot. Okay, it's a moped is a mobile scooter, those kind of electric small scooter. So they also have a lot of problem in China. People zooming here and there, not obeying the speed limit and things like this. Not wearing helmets, right? So with this, after that, you see everybody quite already just wear helmet, 94%. Last time less than half wear helmets. So I think it's a good thing, but it is not. I hope it's not applied here, right? I need SenseTime software to help me solve the capture image properly. Yeah, actually, few years ago, the computer vision have already achieved better recognition than what a human eye can, right? And all these capture images, right? We're actually helping to train the AI. Okay, yeah, that's why they deploy it to verify it. Someone told me that capture knows that you are human based on your reaction time, not the number of correct boxes you click. Maybe, I don't know, right? But what I read somewhere was that all this captcha is also used to train the AI, to verify also, right? Is this a tech CCP used to track citizens for social credit? Thought they had used such tech to track wanted criminals. One was found attending a concert. I won't be surprised, right? But SenseTime is just one of them. They have quite a number. They have E2, they have CloudWalk. All these are going to IPO already very soon, right? MacV. Okay, all these are their top AI software companies. And then you also have your Heat Vision. Heat Vision is also do integrated. They do both hardware and software. You see your Huawei, your Baidu also do some computer vision, right? So a lot of companies are doing computer vision. There's another one that's listed in Shenzhen, another one listed in Shanghai. Okay, so they could be using a variety of, because they let the cities may not use all the same, right? They may use different ones. But I would think SenseTime will be one of them, given that they are already a market leader. Okay, so next module, SenseME. So mobile phone company, right? You know, it's nowadays you take camera, right? Oh, very nice. They blur the background. Last time, you want to buy DSLR that lens that give you this kind of bokeh, the bokeh effect. So expensive. Now it's all using AI to give you that feel, right? The pop. Okay, so they also do the engine to blur the background. So one of the mobile company actually use that technology. All right. And then they also have a super night photography. This is for another company B, mobile phone. They didn't disclose. I guess it would be like, don't know, Oppo, Vivo, some of these, right? Chinese companies. And, you can take in low light, then they still can brighten it up for you, right? So all these are using artificial intelligence softwares, like what SenseTime offers. Some are super resolution, right? You zoom, you still don't lose the resolution that much. Okay, so all this camera improvement is not hardware improvement, but more of the software improvement, which is using artificial intelligence. All right, so next one, SenseMARS. Okay, it's a reconstruction and basically recreating things, creating a digital virtual world like your metaverse. Quite nice, right? You see the physical world, the building look like this, then they can blueprint it. Okay, and then they can make it so nice, got spaceship somehow. Okay. They even reconstructed places like the Gugong, Palace Museum, Shanghai Expo, Bangkok Airport, Sihu, Westlake. Okay, so for if you can't travel because of COVID, right, you can don your VR goggles, you can be there and experience it yourself, right, as though you are really at the place. Okay, so I do think that the metaverse kind of story is going to get louder and louder in the next few years. Okay, so you can see you can do a lot of I think this is the Gugong, the Palace Museum. Okay, because when you wear VR, you have the immersive experience. You feel that you're inside. Yeah, so they do all this reconstruction of that thing, and they also do avatar, right? They can convert your real photo into avatar. Okay, yeah, but don't do it on Facebook, right? I heard they are collecting data. Okay, don't do that. This one is for companies, They sell it for companies. Then you see, you can replace the human attendant. You can have a virtual one, right? Which is safer, right? Because of COVID, I think you might need more of this, prevent overcrowding. You can talk to them, they can talk to you in person, not in person, in virtual reality. They also do avatar for Bilibili, also use, right? Bilibili is another listed company that does the social media, more on video, and a lot about the anime, right? There are a lot of anime stuff. Okay, so then they also use SenseTime to create avatar such that the streamer, right, can use the avatar instead of themselves to create a digital experience. They even have a comic show. You can play a comic show. I think those kind of story unfolding one, you can choose how the next phase of story is going to go. Then you immerse inside. Okay, so that's what they Bilibili also use that technology. So you see, they don't just do the serious stuff. They also do all this nonsense. Healthcare makes sense, right? Because imaging in healthcare is very important, right? You can't see inside your body, and the more accurate you can get this imaging, the better it is. Then you don't need to open up the body, right? So they do 13 body parts for now: heart, liver, lung, stomach, intestine, cervix, blah 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 blah. So you can do for your surgery planning, diagnosis, as well as rehabilitation, right? After you open up, close it back, then you go for physio. How is it developing? Okay, so I do think that this imaging become very powerful, right? They don't do the hardware, by the way, they only do the software. So likely they have to sell the software to hardware manufacturer for all this equipment, right? Last one, SenseAuto, autonomous driving. Okay, that's the next thing, right? So they also have the technology already to do this kind of detection, pattern recognition, where the pedestrian is going, where should the car be swerving to, all these kind of things, right? Detecting behaviors. Okay, they even have their own bus, autonomous bus. Okay, it actually achieve a L4 autonomous. So what is this L4? In autonomous driving, there's L1 to L5. So L4 is very high level already. Okay, it can really drive by its own without a human intervention at all. Okay, so they have this feature. I think they did some touring on shuttle bus for some of the events over there. Okay, so that is pretty much SenseTime, and they are quite big shot in the AR world. Okay, augmented reality. Right, they are setting industrial standard. You know, a lot of all this technology, right? They don't have industrial standard, so everybody come up with their own version. But you know, if you can set the standard, right? Wow, that's very powerful. That's what they are positioning themselves as. They are the founding chair of the China Augmented Reality Core Technology Industry Alliance. Okay, comprising 300 members, including all your big names in tech as well. But they are the chair, right? It shows you they're one level higher. They are also the chair for the IEEE. Okay, some of you probably electrical engineer, right? So IEEE is an international board. It's not just China. So they are also a chair of all these AR. So I think pretty leading in this field. All right. And what is this? Okay. Yeah, they set a standard, right? AR technology on mobile devices in the industry. Okay, I think mostly in China for this. Right, but still influential nonetheless. Okay, so how do y'all think SenseTime is something that you are interested? All these AI things happening in China makes me feel Singapore is quite backward compared. We seem like 10 years behind China. Doesn't matter, we are never an innovation country. Right? Our strategy, right? The Singapore strategy is very simple. Just make all our friends, just make friends with everybody, and make a place where it is safe. If you are rich, you can come here. If you are a big corporation, I welcome you here. As long as you create jobs and let me use your technology and we stay relevant with the world. That's our strategy. And then we tax them. Okay, and then we use NTUC to press down the price. That's all. Right? That's our strategy. In a nutshell. we are too small to do innovation to beat US or China. Okay, so that's never our strategy, right? Yeah, once in a while maybe we have some invention, but most of the time we don't. Okay, interested? Okay, only one interested, the rest not interested. All right, but you have to compare. So right now we don't have the E2, the CloudWalk, and the MacV. Okay, you only have SenseTime. Right, when more information come out, then you can do a comparison. But so far, I think what I see is that because they are the market leader, so out of which they should be the best choice. Okay, because remember, right, buying the market leader is very important. But that also shows that it's a very competitive field, right? As a market leader, they are not very far off. Just 11% of the entire market share is not. But in China also must be careful. You have too much market share, you also get regulated. Okay, so have some competition is good, but too much competition is also not good. There is a Goldilocks zone, right? Okay, but so far I think it's fine. Okay. But I saw something that I didn't like. Okay, let me share with you. So they show their numbers and they are loss making. So loss making, there's nothing much to look at, and the only most important number is the revenue growth. Okay, not just revenue, but revenue growth. Right, and they did grow well from 21.8 to 21.9, 63%. Then 21.9 to 2020, only 14%, which I think is fine because I can say you got COVID, right? Your sales team cannot go out and sell more. People are not in the mood to buy as well, right? So I think it's forgivable, 21.9 to 2020. Then they also compare first 6 months, Jan to June, 2020 versus 2021. Yes, it's a big jump. That shows you the COVID impact. But then when I look at the revenue, it's just 1.6 million for 6 months. If I multiply by 2, you end the year with 3.3 billion. And then 3.2 billion is lower than what was achieved in 2020 then. Okay, so there can only be two possibilities. If this trajectory continues, it's really just 2 times what is the first half achievement, then their growth is slowing a lot. Or it could be a case where second half is a stronger half for them all the time. So that means you should expect the second half revenue to shoot up a lot if that's the case. So there can only be two cases. Right? I don't know which is which. Okay. Anyway, the IPO dates and prices are not out yet. It's just good to know qualitatively whether will you select it. Okay, because this kind of company growth rate is very important, right? Revenue growth rate is very important for loss-making companies. Their growth rate slow down, their share price won't do well. Okay, very, very highly correlated. All right. Okay, some are not very. Oh, one is not very interested. Okay, some are interested. Okay. Anyway, you make your decision. Okay, I'm here to just give you some of this analysis. All right, so that you can make your own judgment. These are some of the risks that I identify. They actually make hardware chips. Okay, they are AI chips. But they design, they don't manufacture. So they will still need other companies to do it for them. Why would I put it as a risk? Because you know the issue with TSMC. China cannot use TSMC, right? And TSMC is still the most advanced chip making company in the world. And that means that if, let's say, SenseTime want to make a revolutionary AI chip, no one can make it except TSMC. And without TSMC, then that means that they need to make a more subpar one, right? Until China catch up with the technology, which will take many, many years. Okay, so it becomes a risk, right? An innovation risk that cannot be achieved in a hardware tangible form. Growth seems to falter, so this is still unknown, right? If the second half is a strong one, then I think it's okay. But if the second half is not, then there's a problem. It has competition, right? As you can see, there are 3 other young startups that are quite strong as well. And it will be an innovation race because they need to keep R&D keep going on. If they stop, then they will be obsolete. And there's no a sure thing that they will always stay in the forefront of the computer vision, artificial intelligence. Okay, and they are also placed on the US blacklist. Okay, so that means that there will be companies that may not be able to do business with them, and maybe some companies just afraid, and that will harm their internationalization efforts. I saw CloudWalk has an office in Shenton Way. SenseTime also have an office in Singapore, right? So a lot of them are actually expanding. Okay, Singapore I think should be still fine, right? Because we're not friends with anybody. But we cannot say so in other countries, especially in Europe. They may not be so friendly with these Chinese tech companies. And lastly, Alibaba has a stake, okay, in SenseTime. Then, why is Alibaba having a stake at risk? Is because, like what I say, if my conspiracy theory is true, that is politically related, then having Alibaba relationship is not a good thing, all right. Okay, so that's a concern that I may have. Do you still subscribe to the notion that companies IPO when market is bullish? In general, yes. Right, before the government clamped down, China was like issuing IPO almost every week, one damn crazy. Okay, so I still think that market is still okay, right? And the IPO did slow down during the regulatory period. Like TikTok also pull out, right? They don't want to list. Okay, so it is. I still believe that they want to fetch a good price, then they IPO. Otherwise, they won't. So I suspect they are testing water. If they can get a good valuation, good IPO price, they will just press it. If not, they may pull out. Okay, so in summary, this SenseTime is a leading AI software company with many use cases which we went through just now, and it enjoys the industry tailwind in AI adoption, right? It's just going to get more. And China is a big country and aging population, right? So you're going to leverage on technology a lot more for you to manage the big space. And growth seems to be slowing as of now, right? We still don't know yet. We need to look at the second half 2021 numbers before we can decide on that. Many competitors, IPO date and pricing unknown yet. Okay, but I think that once they are ready, the news will start reporting already. You'll get more SenseTime articles coming out, SenseTime video coming out. The roadshow will start. Investment banker will just keep pushing out all these things. Okay, but at least now you know what this company is about, and you can make a better decision once the price is out, right? Then you know how much PS ratio is there. Okay, then you can compare.